What is going on, guys? We're back with yet another rebuild on Madden 23, and today it is of the Atlanta Falcons, who had themselves a pretty decent draft. I think a lot of fans, Falcons fans specifically, are maybe a little mad about the Bijan Robinson pick, as running back was far from their biggest need, and it's a high pick for a running back no matter what. But, you know what? If you get a great player, I don't think you can be too mad. Pick 8 is high. As long as it's not a top 5 pick. I know you think, well, pick 8 and 5 is different. Top 5 is like a whole other stratosphere to pick 8. It's kind of crazy, but it really is. I think that's fine. But once again, you needed a wide receiver for sure, and they just basically didn't address it. I'm not really sure what the deal is there. They forget how to use Pitts often, so basically your receiving threat is Drake London. Maybe they put Cordero Patterson in the slot or something like that. He's obviously played a bit of running back, a little bit of wide receiver, a bit of freaking everything. Wouldn't surprise me if he was a punter at some point. But of course, offensive line. This is the Lindstrom should be a superstar, who I am going to force. I don't care. But this is a unit that actually is a lot better than I wouldn't say people think, because I think a lot of people know how well Lindstrom played last year. He was like maybe the highest graded player in the entire league, I believe. I know Pro Football Focus, hate him, like him, whatever, but they at least are a decent basis for talent. One guy I think doesn't get enough credit. He's an 82 overall. He's pretty decent here. But Jake Matthews has been like an above average lineman for like his whole career. I don't understand. Nobody ever talks about him. He's just so dependable there. And of course, Caleb McGarry had himself a really good year last year. I bumped his ratings to 79. Didn't boost him to star because, well, he hasn't played many years. He is already 27. So it's kind of like you wanted this to happen sooner because of how old he is. But it is what it is. I bumped his ratings a little bit. I moved Hennessy back to center because I believe he was center for them, right? And then he moved to guard, if I'm not mistaken. So I think he has a little bit more potential than Dahlman in game, at least. And then Bergerson. This is a voiceover part, but you could tell there I wanted to say Bergeron because I knew it in my head that's who it was. And for some reason, him putting Bergerson on there made me think it was Bergerson. And I don't know how many times I mentioned it in this rebuild, but I may call Matthew Bergeron Matthew Bergerson. So, yeah, my bad. 23-year-old rookie, star development trait. Pretty damn good player. I know a lot of people think he's a guard. Could play tackle. Maybe if Jake Matthews is gone at some point soon, that's the route they go. But as of right now, he is definitely guard for us. And then quarterback, in real life, I know you would obviously, on paper, want Ritter to be the guy because you use a pretty decent pick on him. But Heineke probably ends up winning the job, if we're going to be honest. But since they're about the same overall and Ritter's more, has more potential, I'm going to give him the nod here. And then the defense. Edge would have definitely been a nice pick to make. Zach Harrison kind of can play edge, but I don't know if you really want to stand him up here in the 3-4, so I'm going to have him on the interior. I was going to make him star, but then I felt like I was making too many of their rookies starred plus dev. Of course, I made Bijan X Factor. As you can see, you can make the argument superstar, X Factor, whatever. It doesn't matter. When you're a superstar in the game, it's the same as X Factor pretty much. As long as you get to superstar, you're cooking. Unless you're really old, then obviously X Factor is a huge advantage, but he's not really old. But yeah, as far as defense, you would have loved to see some edge because, while they did get some youngsters in previous draft and they probably have high hopes, I wanted to see more. And I just don't see Zach Harrison as the edge, even though, that's kind of where he played primarily in college. But on the interior, he can obviously get it done too, and that's where I expect him to play. Although, I say that, and they do have Eddie Goldman coming back, and if Onyemata is here, they've got a lot of players. Obviously, they've got some aging players as well. I didn't put Goldman on this list because there's just no room for him, realistically. Like, he might not even be, viable in real life. He might just come back, realize it's not for him, and just go away again. It just doesn't matter for a game. Same as me adding the offensive lineman they took in the 7th round. He's 24 years old. He's never going to be anything. So yes, I know Eddie Goldman exists, and in real life he might be something. In game he won't be, so there is just no point. He's basically Onyemata, At some point we have to admit the non-parallels between game and real life. Also, speaking of game and real life, I don't think Rashaan Evans is here. But just like with the Packers and Amos, even though, they didn't play well last season, you maybe just grab him because you have no other options. So I'm just going to allow it. And it really doesn't matter, to be honest. If anything, this hurts us because him being here maybe gives us a better chance to succeed, even though we would like a higher pick. We'll say, though, this team silently, especially in Madden, kind of not that bad, dude. Look at these corners. I mean, we've got corners now. A.J. Terrell's not alone. He's got talent. Of course, Phillips was great value, and I'm going to put him at number 3 because of it. Hughes is cool and all, but I need my youth, even though Hughes is only at 25, 26. Regardless, though, this is a team that looks a lot better than it did last year. I like the Falcons draft, simply put. I do. And if you like this video, maybe leave a like. Maybe subscribe if you're new. If you're not new, really appreciate continued support. I don't know what teams you guys want to see next. I'm kind of like recording these like same day the previous rebuild comes out because I'm trying to get ahead a little bit just in case I want to like pump out like 3 in a row or something. But okay, I'm glad we're not giving pass rush abilities to the freaking standouts. Ugh. But yeah, let me know what you guys want to see next. We technically already did Bryce Young Panthers rebuild, I think, unless I'm thinking of Stroud. But we can do another one just because it'll be the actual draft class. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. There's obviously teams like the Steelers and Seahawks that I think are pretty cool and fun and had cool and good drafts. But yeah, let me know what you guys think next rebuild should be. And like I said with the relocation franchise, should be sometime at the end of the week, either a Friday or a Saturday. Probably more likely on a Saturday. And we'll get that going as well. And then Steelers franchise will end up finishing up at some point by the end of the month, I'd say. There we go. Zach Harrison, the star dev. Of course, if you've used Bengals draft classes this year, you would have known that was a guy that was X Factor. I don't know if he actually likes him that much. I actually do. I don't know if I would say X Factor just because, the game always is pretty safe with their picks. Even if, like, Bijan fell to, like, the 3rd round, you would feel like they would probably make him a superstar just because, like, it's the round that he went. But yeah, I'm not really sure how NFL.com had him as a 5th round prospect when like every other place had him as a 3rd rounder. I don't know what they're thinking, but I actually really like Zach Harrison. I think he's going to be great. But didn't give him star. He got star on his own, so it worked out in the end. But yeah, that's that. And as far as speaking of classes go, this roster, I did have to edit quite a bit. Bijan was much higher than he is for me. Once again, I forgot. I keep forgetting to do these when I'm looking right away. Obviously, he's been upgraded a little. Oh my God, he's been upgraded a lot. It's on 130 sliders. He's already through the roof. But as far as his speed goes, how much does he have here? Yeah, he actually has that. So I gave him 90 speed, 92 excel, which I think is fair. Don't think I had that high of agility. I think I had like 92, 93. Juke move was actually an 87 on this class. He was a 90 though. So as far as this class, if you guys want to use this, it's Sheezy 2. There's only one E and it's all S's. So it's not like ITZ or anything like that. And there are a lot of overrated players. I ended up having to drop Bryce Young and CJ Stroud quite a bit. I think he has something like 79 and 80 overall, respectively. The guard, I think we already looked at, and then Harrison we actually looked at. So we actually did look at most of them. We just didn't look at Bijan, I don't think. Or maybe I did. Maybe, I don't know. But either way, those are the ratings. Damn, that's kind of an L because Lorenzo Carter's not terrible. Definitely could have been our future of the edge, but I don't know. Have a pretty good, decent season for ourselves, and we did not steal the division, but we did force the Buccaneers down the list. So us winning gave the Saints the division, which is pretty good for them. I guess okay for us, but to the playoffs year 1, didn't change the scheme. I just made sure the defense was in a 3-4, which it is. And then looking at the regular season, there you go. I mean, I lied. I did change the scheme. I changed it to a vertical zone, but I kept the same playbook. And then I might have changed the defense to Chargers, but it doesn't matter because 3-4 defenses never do a thing. Ritter, I mean, that's a good season for him in real life, but in game, even like 60 overall quarterbacks can put up this and then some, so it's not spectacular. Bijan was really bad in that Texans kind of like special type of rebuild we did. And he's better here, I think, kind of. Then look at the receiving, Drake London, Hollins, and Pitts. Not bad numbers, even for Scotty Miller. We just need to get some younger guys in there that, hey, pause. Actually, don't pause. Continue. Skip ahead. We said nothing. To actually be able to develop them, because those guys just aren't going to develop. Terrible season for the defense. Oh, my God. Grady is like the only guy. Corners, nothing special. Young Hui Koo with 5 misses out of 19. So I'm really shocked that we made the playoffs. Obviously, the offense was really good, but even that I didn't think was enough, but apparently it was. And the division was competitive, so it's not like we had just an easy division win or something like that. Rookie of the Year, number 2. It's so BS because he would have won it if, guys like Kenneth and Olave weren't actually rookies. But once again, you can only do so much in the game. You pretty much have to play off the 2022 season with the updated rosters. Trey Anderson at number 3, though. Maybe get a dev up just because it seems like a pretty good season for him. Ritter at number 9. At least he's on the list. Could be worse. Could just be not on the list at all. Running back at 7. Best wide receiver at 10. Where the hell? Oh, touchdowns really mean that much. Lindstrom at 3. D-line, no. Linebacker, no. DB, no. Kicker, no. By the way, the Cardinals don't even need that damn Texans pick. They got their own pick, giving them Caleb Williams, even though we're not using that draft class because I don't think anyone has a decent one up. Whoops. But yeah, let's go in against the Bears. The Chicago Bears are in the damn playoffs. That's impressive. Miles Jack is there, fair enough. That's the thing. A lot of the guys that were, kind of unsigned or not signed right away are still in free agency, even though he's supposed to be on the Steelers, so it is what it is. But I don't really care too much the mid-level players. If I wanted to make every single rebuild's roster perfect out the gate, which would be ruined shortly after anyways because the game re-signs dumb players and lets go of the good ones, it would take hours, and it's just not worth it. 7-0, not bad. Surprised this team made the playoffs. Obviously, they can in real life. I'm not going to completely shun them and say there's zero chance. I don't know if they're really ready for a 10-7 season, but also at the same time, I could very well see it, so I'm not going to be like, well, that's just stupid. But yeah, not a bad little game here as we barely win over the Bears, who definitely improved. Obviously, they had maybe the easiest to improve because they were so bad, but probably the most improved roster based off their offseason. Looking at the rushing numbers, they got Zeke as well. They just signed everybody. They're like, screw it, we're just going to take everyone. Surely one of these guys is going to be a good decision. And Santos missing a kick. So some interesting stuff there. I think they even had an extra point blocked. Special teams clutching for us. Bijan being an 88 overall is quite something. I'm trying to upgrade him anytime I see him because I want him to be a dual style, and the game obviously only upgrades the one style, the highest archetype they have, which is... I get it, it's the laziest, easiest way to do it, and for some reason, some people in the comment section have defended them for that, which is weird behavior. But it would be nice if they were a little more balanced, or you could actually choose which archetypes you wanted. But at the same time, I get it. It might be kind of like an annoying algorithm or something to build into the game, whereas most of the time, people are just upgrading manually. But obviously, in these rebuilds, that's impossible. You can't do hundreds of upgrades on your own without it taking 4 years. 14-7, 17-7, we can live with it. Especially with that little field goal. So only down by 7. Only up by 7. Wow, this team turned it around nicely. This fourth quarter is going to be crazy. Opponents missing extra points has been the case lately. Is that going to be their ball? It's our ball. I might have to come in here. Or not, as an interception to Alante Taylor has been thrown. Defense clutching up again, though. Giving the offense a chance, and they're not going to do 4th and 12. This would be some sort of miracle anyways, but I guess I'll come in because it could be a little bit of fun. Who is on the slot there? Is that Scotty? I can't tell. Is that Scotty Miller? I can't see. It is. All right. Is Scotty Miller my guy? He would be. I didn't have enough time. I was going to throw it. What the hell's happened to scoreboard? I was going to throw it to Pitts underneath. I just felt like the throw wasn't perfect. Even with Pitts' speed, he wasn't going to make it. And I think even if it was perfect, I don't think he gets there. He would have had to get to the 30-yard line. I don't know if he gets to that edge. Yeah, there's no way he was going to get closed down on. It was a safety. I think I made the right call. We just ran out of time, sadly. It was a good season, though. But at the same time, we lost to the Saints, who are almost maybe in a worse situation than the Falcons. Crazy to think. But possibly. Derek Carr is obviously the kind of wild card / X factor in this situation. Ritter throwing 3 interceptions. You're never going to win a game doing that. And ultimately, it was a good season, which could hurt us because, once again, we're going to have a pretty bad draft pick. But, hey, we don't hate it. Of course, we also have that Jaguars second-round pick as, I believe, the quote-unquote, I would say incentives, actually, the conditions are based on, how much he plays, how well he plays, and I believe if he gets a re-signing. And I've, never seen him in free agency, so I just assumed that we would be getting the second-round pick comp off of it because of that. Let's take a look at D-Devs. Nothing on offense. Not even Holland, who was on the top 10 list for wide receivers, despite the fact that he was old for a guy that sucks. 29 years old. He's actually even older than I thought. I thought he's like 27. And I was talking about old. He's way older than I thought. Probably need to replace him. Gonna be honest. Ritter didn't go up in dev. Doesn't surprise me, but I would loved it. Grady Jarrett going up in dev is the greatest thing anyone's ever seen in their life. I mean, how old is he now? 30 probably? Like, that is huge. Huge. I mean, he's already regressing even with the dev. Nice. And Troy Anderson, of course, I seen with a dev up, but he still might need to be replaced. So we'll take the little bit we got, right? It's better than nothing. All right, those re-signings like we talked about, Rashawn Evans, who I hopefully didn't call Rashawn Gary earlier. Sometimes when I'm editing like videos, I'm like, what the hell? Why did I say that? Or if I'm editing like a gameplay video, which has been a while now, I'll see like the most wide open read in the world. I'm like, how did I miss that? But that is just how it works. Calvin Ridley? Nice. No Calvin Ridley. I don't know when he needs a contract, if it's now or whatever, but Josh Allen, definitely an option, but considering he doesn't want to join us, I think he is already a gone option. I don't think it's possible to sign someone to that kind of a contract when they have red interest. It would cost us like probably 15% more on your car insurance on the actual ask than it is, because that's just how it goes. Zach Cunningham is like the freaking most wide league Band-Aid there is. Chris Barnes, you really want to draft linebacker high, but I also think even if you get someone like Chris Barnes, it's not really going to do much for you, is it? It'd be nice to have like an option, but I think we just have to address wide receiver and linebacker like really early, no matter what. So we get to pick up the fifth-year option of Jeff Okuda. I think if we're going to keep him, we're just going to re-sign him, as that fifth-year option's got to be nearly $11 million anyways. So what's the point? At that point, $11 million, probably get him on like 7 per. Now, A.J. Terrell, on the other hand, is a clear-cut goon, so he will be getting the fifth-year option because we are holding off another for like 15+ mil deal. So it's worth giving him the fifth-year option. All right, so we have pick 26, which is, ironically, now making that Michael Jackson joke, and he's actually the best player in the draft, apparently. But we have a bunch of players that were like kind of early first. Wasn't going to happen. They weren't worth trading for, so I'm going to just skip to where our pick is. Now, there are still decent players. Just going to make sure that I have no 1-2s. Hollister's still there. Ooh, Kyle Foster's still there. I'm going to take a look at Grant and see if he's decent. Obviously, the speed isn't great for Foster, but he does have that B zone coverage. What about the other safety? There was Thurston, who's a C, but he has that A hit power, 21 years old, 6 foot tall, even slower technically if the left side is to be believed, which I actually believe the left side more than the 40 times these days. We get 40 and 72 plus a 6th round pick from the Vikings, which I think is fair for both sides, and they get their tackle. We likely get our corner. I might go with the linebacker first, though, as we can live with the safeties we have. We cannot live with the linebacker. Actually, no, my linebacker's in the 3rd round, isn't he? I think he's worth taking. Also with that, A play rack, A zone. He's definitely worth taking. So start of the 3rd, we are definitely going to make that play. Some decent linemen, but we don't really technically need a lineman. We maybe use one. So if I'm going to go with one, I'll wait. There's DT I want as well. So I think we're going to go with Blair and then trade down the other pick. Allen looks really good as a pure cornerback, but we don't technically need one. So Mike Blair's my pick. Please be a good safety. He's hidden, so there's something. To be fair, this pick is almost worth 2 high 3rds, to be honest. So a high 3rd, that works. That is pretty fair. It's a little bit of an overtrade from them, but it's pretty fair. And obviously that helps us a lot. That's a great trade. I don't know who they even took, but I'm down. Niners are giving me another really good trade. We're going to lose this pick, but we're going to gain another next year, which we might need for a quarterback if Ritter's not the guy. I know a 2nd-round pick's not going to do a whole lot for you, but let's say we get pick 8 again, and, quarterback needs to be in the top 5, and we could trade up. That extra 2nd-round pick's definitely going to help do it. And this could be a slightly early because these 3 to 4s usually are at least good enough to be there to pick 5 to 10. But we need the linebacker so bad. I'm going to grab one. Jeromepkr, and he is hidden. A lot of the EA prospect spotlights have been dog crap normals. So the fact that he's hidden is a very good sign, obviously, because he's not normal. Could still be dog crap, but he's at least not normal. Oh my God, Thurston's still there. That corner we could use as an actual corner. While Thurston might not be that fast, he looks pretty good with that hit power and that tackle in the zone. And I'm going to go to pick 1 in the 3rd. If he's there, I'll go for him. If not, it is what it is. He's there. I might have to go for him. Might have to. Was that the first pick overall from the Bengals, by the way? What the hell's going on here? Could be a mistake, but it's a mistake I'm willing to live with. A third and a fourth this year with a fourth next year to move up to 65. Might have to move up again because I really want that DT, but this is the safety. The fact that he's still here is worrying, but this is the safety I believe I'll go for him. Why not? Why not? Not! What the hell is that speed? You see when I said I trust the left side more than the 40 time? That's why. 4.53 is not fast, but for a safety, that's 88 speed. 6th-round pick to move up with the Texans, which we're going to be taking our DT here. I mean, it's a good pick because he's hidden, but man, 84 speed. He was pretty big, though, right? He's like 6'2". I can live with it if he is taller. There was 2 wide receivers here. Oh, no. Oh, he's still here. This is the crazy move we're going to be pulling off. I think we're going to be taking Tyreek Anderson, and we're going to be moving Pitts to wide receiver. You got to remember, when he was drafted, he could have been... oh, he's normal. Maybe I won't now. I was actually trading up for the DT, and then I remember we traded 90, 125, and Bernhardt for 67. I was actually going to give them a 6 this year, and they actually wanted him more than that 6th-round pick, which I don't see why, but sure. Have it your way. And then with this pick, obviously, we're going to be taking Poole, who could be hit or miss, but A. Finesse, C. Blockshed, we take these players all the time. A little bit on the weaker side, but more athletic. Please. No. Okay, we have killed it with the hiddens, though. I don't know how good these players actually are, and it really sucks the one guy kind of needed to be hidden, a.k.a. that tight end, wasn't. But I still think that's the move. Move Pitts over to wide receiver, because it's just not happening. Like, it's just not happening here. Ooh, my other safety, who is, I'm pretty sure was decently athletic. Yeah, he's still here. I'm going to take Kenny Winters. Hidden Dev. Our punter's old and bald, so I'm going to take the highest kick power guy there is, Jeff O'Neal, 95 kick power. Accuracy's probably terrible. Oh, he's not even bald. He is old. Must be thinking to myself. We apparently have 30 mil left. We apparently have 39 mil left. We took some pretty good players. That strong safety is only a 67 overall, but he's the most athletic by far. The punter, that's not a punter, that's a wide receiver, a DT. Not very good. Was he actually usable at all, though? He has swim, spin, high motor, 70 finesse. He sucks. Okay, I don't know what you guys are talking about. He's awful. But we at least have like a long-term contracted guy. Can he play safety? What's his block shed? Does it show? 58's about fair for a safety. No man coverage, good zone. I think we just slap everyone at strong safety, and whoever's the highest overall gets to play, unless it's Richie Grant. So basically, welcome to the starting strong safety spot, Mike Blair. Let's take a look at the devs. I mean, it could skew my opinion, but in general, I'm just curious to see. Star dev kind of felt like that. Let's just skip to the safeties first. How big was Thurston? Yeah, unless his block 65 block shed is pretty good though for a safety. So I'm saying, unless his block shed's amazing, I don't know. Thurston could be like a weird superstar X factor though, right? Because like otherwise he's kind of useless. Oh no, he's just a slow, useless safety. Okay, never mind. Forget what I said. And then the final safety, Winters. I can't imagine he's higher than Star. That'd be like the steal of the draft. He's super athletic. Let's see what we got for ourselves. Anything? I mean, he's a good pick no matter what. But will he start? He will not. Looks like a damn wide receiver with that number. I don't know why he's paranoid. He must be paranoid about not being a starter. McCoy, automatic starting middle linebacker. Well, maybe number 2 to Troy Anderson. Very raw with that block shed. Can't lie. He's got pass rush abilities, which is weird because he has 0 pass rushing rating. Starting middle linebacker. Let's see. There we go. For a huge positional need, too. Of all the players we just drafted, other than maybe the tight end, that would be the number 1 for like which player would you prefer to have hidden if you're a superstar, if you could choose. And then the DT, really good finesse move, probably a future starter somewhere on the line as Calais Campbell is, I don't even know, he might actually be gone right now. Maybe he's a starter this season. Let's see. Put him at number 9, right end, 94. Another superstar. Actually, not 94. He's reminding me of Dean Lowry. No, thank you. I don't want that. Okay, not a bad draft. Take a look at the dev. What's the dev? Star dev. Okay. 92 overall, down to an 83. That is a mad drop-off, but it does give us 2 really good wide receivers that are 22 years old and amazing for the future. All right, season 2 team. Ritter, we'll see. He had an okay season, but he is already like 24, 25. Wide receiver is now Pitts with Anderson at tight end, which is just ridiculous. You've seen us, sometimes put a wide receiver at tight end, but have you seen us put a tight end at wide receiver? He's like the only one you could really do it in the game, and even then, he drops 9 overalls. But still, he is probably our best option there, with London being the number 2 now. But yeah, I mean, offense looks okay. We'll see what happens. Maybe Pitts goes back to tight end, and we just draft a wide receiver next season. But right now, as of right now, that felt like the best, smartest decision. Edge, still an issue. We'll see what happens. Inside linebackers, Anderson, if he gets a superstar, maybe he could be long-term with McCoy, who is also superstar. Safeties, we got 3 hidden ones, which is amazing. Balaire's going to be the starter there, with Grant being the backup. And then corners look pretty good with D-line. Poole being set to replace Campbell, assuming Grady Jarrett can play for another couple of seasons. We might have our interior completely finished. So really, you look at the defense, the only positions you would look for is the edge and then maybe one more middle linebacker, and then the focus is all on offense. Well, the good thing about Lindstrom's contract in real life, it's way higher than he wants in the game, so I can just bump it up crazy amount. And really? Wait, I'm so confused. Was that not like way overpriced? Also, Harrison, we got to edit, but really? I thought like that was like 20 mil more than he wanted in game. I don't even know, but I might have to actually force the contract. Well, the good thing about Lindstrom's contract in real life, it's way higher than he wants in the game, so I can just bump it up crazy amount. And really? Wait, I'm so confused. Was that not like way overpriced? Also, Harrison, we got to edit, but really? I thought like that was like 20 mil more than he wanted in game. I don't even know, but I might have to actually force the contract. So we gave him his contract. Oh, crap. I just sold so unbelievably hard. I meant to withdraw the offer on Lindstrom. Ended up doing it on Okuda, which means we just basically paid Lindstrom twice. Nice. Love it. Because that glitch still works in the game. Nice. Actually, looking at it, that might be a glitch they fixed, because we would have had 70-some mil remaining from signing him, it said. So I actually think, they might have fixed the glitch, or I just didn't get it this time, because the money we have right now is what we're actually expected to have. But I think I'm going to end up having to give Mr. Okuda a 5-year 50, because I kind of sold. So it is what it is. So a 10 mil cap hit, which I would mean if we did a 6-year 50, it would be actually a 5-year 50 would be a 6-year 62, right? Or 63. Accidentally withdrew him because I was trying to withdraw from Lindstrom to give him the contract, since he has a contract in real life, just doesn't have it in the game. And then Helms needs a 2-year extra on his deal, so we'll be pretty much sorted after that. Cordero Patterson's going to be let go because he's just too old, sadly. And actually, technically, Lindstrom's contract would be like a 4-year 80 because we would have already run through a year on him, but who gives a damn? It doesn't matter. Hey, it looks like Desmond Ridder is star dev. He is. Win. Yo, he's a superstar now. Let's go. I think we did a Falcons rebuild not so long ago, maybe a month or 2 ago, and I don't think we had Ridder. If I'm not mistaken, he didn't succeed. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure we didn't, which this is insane. I don't know if this is Pitts is doing. We'll see how he plays, but that's impressive. It's normal the superstar dev for Ridder in 1 year. Kept that quarterback door open. Didn't close it either way, whether bringing a new one in or sending Ridder on his way, but definitely looks pretty promising right now. Hennessy changed his tune-up when we had ourselves a really good year, so 2-year 14, I didn't change the offer at all. It's just now he's a green interest, which made it easier to get him. And everyone else, I suppose we let go. Heineke, 2-year 10 for Heineke, just for a realistic sense. And, well, never mind. I was going to say, for a realistic sense, and I think at 31 you can get the mentor tag. He'd be a pretty decent player for that, I guess, but didn't happen, so screw it. To the playoffs, which we're guaranteed to be in, but are we also, yes, going to get a bye week? We have been killing it in rebuilds lately. Can we get ourselves another dynasty team? I don't know. We haven't really done a whole lot. Obviously, we made the move with Pitts, but as far as, making moves to add on, Bijan at number 3, Jean. I'm sorry, I should not have said that. That was awful. But let's take a look. Let's take a look at these numbers. Amazing for Ritter. Once again, stayed in the Falcons playbook, which, I mean, we love because he went off. 6.2 yards per carry for Bijan is nuts. Really good season there. Pitts, amazing season at wide receiver 1. Drake London at number 2, about the same as the year before. Maybe a little bit less yards in fairness. Anderson killed it as the tight end, and then Morrison was okay. I can live with what we have here. I love it. I would have loved London to have the season that Pitts did for a dev up, but as far as like validating our decision to put Pitts at wide receiver, kind of makes sense. Although the problem with Pitts is that contract is going to cost quite a bit more at wide receiver than it is at tight end, but hey, we might not even be rebuilding this team anymore at that point. It might be over because we're already on a really good path, at least this season. Carter with a much better season. Harrison with a much better season. Campbell was okay. Grady was down. And then Ebiketie needs to be replaced, sadly. Picks, pretty tame. Kicking, better. Punting, slightly better, I think, with O'Neal. The strong kick power, no accuracy punter. We might have had some award wins or at least some close calls for players that we wouldn't have expected to after first season. Speaking of, MVP for 73 overall Stafford. I don't know what the hell's going on there, but let's take a look. Number 2 for Bijan at Offensive Player of the Year. Pitts at 5. Defensive Player of the Year, not on the list, sadly. Rookie of the Year, number 3 for Anderson, and number 2 for McCoy. That sucks. Still a pretty good season, though. Best quarterback at 5. Bijan at number 1. We love it. Pitts at number 2. Wait a minute. 91 overall. Okay, what? I got to check these sliders for a sec because maybe I don't have him as low as I thought. Obviously, he is a superstar X factor, and tight end slowly, like the upgrades for tight end isn't as good or aren't as good as wide receiver. But these are the sliders we have on. Normally 147. You know, if you have like a 75 overall star wide receiver, it'll take like 5 seasons to get them to a 90. So that's why I have it. I just think X factor players are just busted for upgrading. Same with Superstar, I suppose. But looking at I think these are fine. I don't really see these sliders being too crazy. Let's go to the divisional, see who we're facing off against, which is the Rams. They did just win MVP, but from a pure team standpoint, I mean, you don't hate it, right? Like, that's all right. I can't believe Pitts is a 91 overall, though. Wow, that is busted, put him at wide receiver. I know people have suggested that to me before and then put him back at tight end. I don't want to do that because it's cheese, but if we're going to keep Pitts at wide receiver, there's no point not to, right? Deep threat. I mean, those upgrades you're just not going to get as a tight end. Like, that's insane. Bates, of course, we didn't really talk too much about because he's just a guy you slap in there, have him kill it, and don't need to talk about him again. Nice speed upgrade, which puts him at 90. We love that. But let's see it. Year 2 Super Bowl win would be kind of nuts, but let's try. Tell you what, Bijan having a season like that, even if it's year 2 that it happens, I think Falcons fans would be chilled. I think they'd be like, okay, fair enough. They know what they're doing, whatever. But going to the end of the game, left or right looks to be them. I don't know for sure, and it is 7-0. Our defense is struggling, but not as much as our offense. Holy crap, please. 10-7. Still 10-7. They're doing so much better than us. Our defense is holding on as much as possible. 17-16. I mean, that Rams defense should not be nearly as good anymore. Like, they have no Ramsey. Speaking of Ramsey, we lost. All right, here it is. This is the game. You don't get the stop on 3rd and 5. You've lost. This team is not the most stout, but it's good enough. And we get a nice push. What a tackle. Ebiketie. All right, this guy thinks he's from the freaking 50s. Cool, man. Literally his birth year on his jersey number. Pitts is going to get out there. And that's going to be not even close. Ritter threw 5 of them Bs. Bijan was terrible. Their defense is apparently the greatest of all time. Obviously, you got Donald, who's amazing. But Wormley, Quentin Lake, Ernest Jones, Joe Schobert, Jordan Fuller, Byron Young intercepting us all. No way. At least the kicker was good. We had somebody that was decent. Yeah, that was a blown season. It's definitely a blown season. I felt like that was the year. Yeah, obviously the Rams did have to beat someone to get to the stage with us there, but there's no way. Please tell me the Rams make the Super Bowl. I'd feel so much better about us losing there. Otherwise, it just feels like a lost cause. Like, I think we just blew a season. Yep. Nice. Panthers versus Chiefs, which we've been seeing a lot in these sims lately. And the winner is the Chiefs. Okay, fair enough. That's kind of expected, but seeing the Panthers do some damage lately. All right, let's take a look at these dev-ups. Kyle Pitts is an X factor. Lol. Anderson, of course, a star dev. Pretty good season for him, obviously. I think Carter went up in dev, and I think that might be it. Carter's 28. I did not know that. I thought he would have been like 26, 27 now, but we need to replace our edge. Carter was the best edge player we had, and he's 28. So, yeah, that's the position of need as quarterback, even though he was terrible in the playoffs, must be set, right? 78 overall superstar. I think he's about to be 26 in fairness, but pretty good ratings. He's got to be our guy. Like, we can't start a new quarterback year 3 when Ritter was good enough, especially since he devved up so many times. We got so lucky. I mean, you look back at a lot of these rebuilds, and the chances of like certain things happening the way they happen and it just being the storyline is just so absurd. Like, there's nothing, like, other than me physically coming into the game and playing for, the quarterback and all that when we have a breakout, there's nothing I can do to trigger those and win those. I can put the best playbooks on the world and not get the dev breakout, which has happened a billion times. And yet, you can see here, 0 games played, 0 games forced. It just happens. We had a rebuild recently enough where, Jared Goff had the worst start to a season I've ever seen, forcing Hendon Hooker in, and then he started getting dev ups and all that. It's just some of these storylines, I don't know how they have played themselves out, and they just have, and it's just insane. Like, I mean, we'd have to find a new quarterback right now if it wasn't for Ritter having those 2 breakouts, right? It's just ridiculous. As far as, players re-signing goes, I don't think we're going to re-sign any of these guys. Cordero did drop off hard. I'm kind of curious to see how good he is. I'm not going to take him back no matter what, but curious. He definitely work with that. What abilities does he even have? Still backfield master, which is busted, so he would definitely be super great still, but not for us in a rebuild. And and actually playing the game, he is still really, really talented, even as a 78 overall. Take a quick look at free agency and then make some moves if we want to. I forgot. I had to make a trade for that Jags pick. There is a 99 overall X Factor left tackle floating around. We will be killing him in a second. Sorry, pal. Wide receiver's not that big of a need anymore unless we want to put Pitts at tight end again, which I would, but it would feel not only like cheating, but also what we have going on is working, so why would I change it? Calais, I imagine, is retired. Might take a chance at Sweat, especially since he's interested. We need someone. Never really had luck with Sweat, but, if it's a little hot, everyone does it. But realistically, the only guy I actually think I'm going to spend money on, he shouldn't be in free agency, is actually going to be Mr. Montez Sweat. It's a little costly, but we have a severe edge rush issue. Problem is, 3-4 defense is always bad no matter what, and he didn't really play that well in a 4-3, but we're just hoping that he can just play well for us. A 3-year deal worth, I think it was, a little under 60, which is okay in this market for a super speed demon with some pretty good ratings. There's also another pass rusher in the draft. I don't know if I'm going to get him, though, because I think he's a 1-2, which obviously those players can go all the way up to like 15 or 16, depending on how good they are, and obviously we're going to be a little outside of that range, so I might go, like, if he's there around 20, make the trade up, and anything higher I think is just a little outside of our price range. Kyle Pitts with the 5th-year option, obviously, because he's going to be asking for maybe nearly 30, so, I don't even need Dolman. I don't really need Kohu either, but, I'd rather just take all of this crap, especially Kohu is a little bit more of a position we need. And maybe we actually put... He did not participate, in fairness, but you could see the speed, excel, and agility. It's not great, right? But I looked at his key ratings. He was already like 85. I don't even know. He was up there. And I fully scouted him, which gave us a round 1 talent, which is like top 10 pick range. Sadly, this wide receiver I had, who also looks pretty good, I scouted him more, and it didn't give me the full 100, which really sucks. And we do have other guys that are like kind of similar to him, so it would just be like grabbing a new guy just for the sake of grabbing a new guy and hoping he develops, but I don't know. We'll see. That A finesse, he's not the greatest player I've ever seen, but he's definitely worth a first-round pick. I'll see, because we do have an extra 2nd and 3rd round pick, what it would cost to get to like maybe 18, if he's even there at 18, because once again, I think this guy could easily be a top 15 pick, but wow! Okay, so I was wrong. Pick 12! 1-2 at pick 12! What am I supposed to do with that? You know, the Steelers are giving me a pretty good trade here. Fourth, that's pretty high, and then a next year fourth, which probably won't be that high, but we end up going, what is that, like 7 spots back? I know it's the first round, so it is a bit of a drop-off, but for those 2 fourth-round picks, I'm down. And then it's not going to be much, but to 42, we gain a 5th and a 7th, so we're really locking in on these picks, and I think we will, assuming the wide receiver is there at 10, take him. Once again, far from the biggest need, but if it allows us to move Pitts back, or if he's just a good player, I mean, whether he plays or not, once again, you can never have... Oh, the corners are still there. There's no shots. I might have to make a trade up. But you can never have enough too many wide receivers, right? So Courtney Birmingham. Ooh, okay, so normal development trade is interesting. I just think that even though Manning is amazing value, we don't really have a need for him. But that's another position where it's like, can you have enough corners? Probably not. I mean, it only costs us a 4th this and a 5th next to move up to that spot, so I think it's absolutely worth taking the cornerback. So I'm going to take him, I think. He is very good value anyways, so even if he's normal dev, I think he's worth it. And he's not normal dev. He is really talented. I mean, right now, other than edge... You know, we're pretty much set, and we can kind of just take luxury picks. We can take whoever the hell we want, because we just don't have a specific need right now. And I'm going to take him, dude. I have to. Trey Brown, BBCC, very close to other things. Actually, no. It was. Okay, I don't know why I read it that way. Great speed, elite excel, elite agility. I don't even know why I took the 6'5" guy when this guy's sitting there. Normal dev, but look at the athleticism. I think that first pick we took was really stupid because I think I'm starting this guy no matter what. He's just a different style of wide receiver that we have, or than we have, and he's just a burner. Oh, my linebacker went 1 pick before me. I have 2 of them in fairness, but I think Hodges was a little bit better, but I was just obviously doing the traditional trick of waiting until one of them's remaining. So Jalen Watts, 6'2", 226, A pursuit, bad block shed, but the coverage obviously is great. Hidden development. Oh! Slower than I thought, though. Okay. I mean, he's hidden, so it is what it is. And I do not believe him to be a pass rusher, but that would be insane if he was. And then I tried to get the full scout here on Greg Blaylock, but I couldn't do it. But with elite throw power, I think it's worth taking him, just even for the backup spot. He's just a fun-looking quarterback, super strong, 6'4", 238. If he was even like a 4'7", 40, though, that would be awesome, but obviously he isn't. Still going to grab him, though, and normal depth, but 95 throw power. And he's also way faster than I thought he was going to be, 75 speed. Can't really do much with that, but I suppose on the super odd chance that nobody's in front of you, you can get a couple of yards if you were to scramble with them. Probably the best cornerback group we've ever had in a rebuild. Carson, not good. Wish I would have had 1 hit in there. With the way this kind of round went, like the late 3rd into the 4th, I probably should have traded up for one of the 3 to 4 guards I had, but I mean, anyone could be hidden. Like, that guy could have easily been hidden, and I'm honestly surprised he wasn't. Ooh, also, I didn't even think about it, but not really sure why, but Young Hui Koo and I don't know if they're actually switching, because obviously 5's kind of taken, but I'm pretty sure Bijan is now number 7, which is interesting to say the least. I guess trying to erase Vic's history, which even Vic probably would like to do, but yeah, interesting. Number 5. Why can't we like where's our traditional numbers? I'm trying to think of what he would look cool in. 24 maybe? I also grabbed this random wide receiver, and to be honest with you, not terrible. Like, not 6'2", 230, those athleticism ratings, not bad. Not bad at all. He's probably going to be like a 7 overall, but still. Yeah, that wide receiver we took, you know, this is definitely not our best draft, but as far as like a usering league would go, this wouldn't be a bad class. This definitely wouldn't be. Like, you have a lot of potential. That 6'5" wide receiver looks super fun, and he's not bad at all. It's just, in this rebuild specifically, I don't think we're going to have a use for him. Doesn't have aggressive catch trait because EA is so dumb. Injury and toughness is bad, though, which is really concerning, but you get that +4 injury if you have the coach trait on. Really good at catching. I mean, really good at catching. Release is amazing. Just a little bit low on the speed. Kind of reminds me a lot of Drake London, ironically enough. But yeah, if I could go back and remove that pick, definitely would. That was not a good pick from us. Lance Manning, definitely a good pick, whether he starts at all in this rebuild or not. super good pick. 35 is kind of the best number we have, I think. I mean, 38, 39, I guess. I don't know. It's really not many great options remaining. Watts would obviously be middle linebacker unless he's a pass rusher, which, of course, as expected, he was not. Not even close. Giving me superstar vibes, but I don't know. He is star development trait. Still backup middle linebacker for now. What else do we have? The guard, and then, yeah, I mean, wasn't the best class we've ever had. A lot of normal devs, but this guy looks really good. This guy has all the potential of the world. More injury concerns from these guys, but a little bit better here. Does he have literally 0 catching traits? What do they think? He's a running back? I don't even know. But he's our new number 3. Birmingham is just going to be the biggest second-round pick waste of all time. Not even close. Obviously, there's straight up bust that you expect to start, whereas this guy we're just not starting. Blaylock, how good was he? Usable. Definitely usable, but not for us. We're number 20. Cute. And then I never look at the fullbacks. Why not? I also want to take a look at that wide receiver. Not bad, actually. 71 run block is pretty good for a rookie. And then Terrence Pittman, not bad at all, actually. Obviously, the medium and deep route is pretty bad, but 75 release, which is one of the hardest upgrade points you can have in the game. Solid catching, has all the traits. For a 2-3 guy that fell to almost basically Mr. Irrelevant, that is not bad. All right, we're putting the big fella at tight end, which makes him a 76 overall. Pretty fair, right? Like, it's not like one of the classic Larry Fitzgeralds going from an 84 overall to a 92 tight end or whatever it was. You know, route running's not crazy good. Release is pretty good for a tight end, I will admit. But he's our number 2 for now. I do like Anderson, and I feel like it would be cheesy to start Birmingham because almost every wide receiver goes up at tight end. So he's really just a backup for now, and I just wanted to make sure that we're, like, getting the most out of him, because as of right now, as a wide receiver, he's like the 4th option at best. So at least as the number 2 tight end, maybe he'll get a little bit more burn. But yeah, I really like the receiving room. This room is ridiculous. Oh man, it's so tempting to just steal Austin Eckler, but obviously that is far from realistic. I get it. Sometimes you have to kind of just be like, play the game how it rolls and how it lies, but not Austin Eckler, dude. 29 years of age, 91 overall, with one of the best abilities in the game, being backfield master. So good of a player. There's just no reason he should be in here. That's just another flaw from EA. Season 3, Ritter is a 78 overall super. I think he's 26 at this point. Oh, he's 25. Probably should be 26, but once again, it's a weird thing, right? Because he talked about, you know, how some people have been asking me, why is it season 2022 when it's supposed to be 2023? And that's obviously because we had to start at this point with the updated rosters, because it's literally impossible to, like, draft every single player the way they fell in real life. And obviously some of the ages are going to be wrong. So, like, if I skipped all of those ages, like, it's just a mess. I can't change them unless you guys want me to change just our team and all the other players in the league are 1 year younger and our guys are 1 year older. I could do that. But that, once again, even that is like a hassle. Maybe like the key positions like quarterback, wide receiver, or something like that. But it's just too much of a hassle. It's, once again, another one of those play it as it lies kind of situations. Do as much as we can. But these are the receivers. You know, as much as, like, I can't even call moving tight end Pitts to wide receiver is cheese. Now, moving him back after getting all those great upgrades might be cheese, so I'm not going to cry. You know, anyone that cries about, I shouldn't have put him at wide receiver, maybe for realism, if you want to say that, he isn't a wide receiver in real life, sure. But as far as, like, us cheese in the game, it's definitely not cheese in the game. He's an overall better player now, but if we have to pay him as a wide receiver, it's like almost double the price of a tight end. It is insane. But yeah, this is the offense. Maybe get a new right tackle, maybe a new center, maybe a new left tackle. But overall, I think we're pretty good. And then obviously Calais Campbell did retire, which is okay because we had a superstar backup waiting. Kind of ruined his rookie season on him. And cornerbacks are great. We have so many corners we don't even know what to do with them. Okuda's still the number 2, but I mean, he is getting up there. 25 years of age isn't crazy, but it definitely, as you keep getting older, you know, once you hit 24, 25, those upgrade points take a lot longer to get. So we're hoping he develops. And then same with the edge. Ebiketie is going to be the starter because he has like 7 better finesse than Carter, believe it or not. But I'm not going to trade Carter because he's a little older, not really worth that much, and he's great depth. Inside linebackers, we have Watts now, but middle linebacker 2 could be a position we replace. Safety's fine, corner's fine. So really looking forward, maybe DT because Grady Jarrett's getting old. Maybe middle linebacker. Edge, we have to see how they play. and then some offensive linemen perhaps, and then hopefully Ritter is the guy, as last season's regular season definitely indicated. But who knows? Every time it's on their contract year, they just go off. They're like, oh, maybe I need to get paid now. We're having a pretty good season. I'm half tempted to give Gibson like a 3-year 15. So almost the perfect backup, to be honest. I was about to say somebody's got to be expensive here. We can't have this much money and not pay people. But even then, it's not that crazy. It's like less than probably 50 mil. Not like by a little bit, maybe 45 to 50. I think we're going to try to get Gibson back on that 3-year 15. Any higher, I probably let him go. Terrell obviously gets a contract. Bates obviously gets a contract. McGarry probably gets a contract. And I think that might be it. Everyone else is kind of backup level. We don't really need them. Grant is a great value, but we just don't need him. He's tempting me. His agent knows how to get me, but I can't, dude. I just can't. And McGarry's our guy, a 3-year, $21 million deal, and he's played pretty well, so I'm going to keep him on for that price. Jesse Bates, not bad. So 4-year, 70. I don't know how 4 years is shorter, but sure, if you say so. AJ Terrell, the 5-year deal. Let's do a 6-year deal, actually. 6-year, 114. Nice. So just a slight bit more for Jesse Bates, I'd imagine, and that's done. And then Gibson, I don't know, dude. It's going to be a close call on that 15 mil. 15 mil, 3-year 15. Oh, Blair's a superstar. There's zero shot that this is how the season ends. Like, there's just no way. There's no... So we made the playoffs here. It's cool, man. Playoffs are great. Remember that 9-8 record that we had? Remember the 9-8 record we had? 6-0. 8-1. Look! Oh my God. Almost the biggest season choke of all time. And there's been some teams. But wow. At least we're in. At some point you would hope that the losing streak would end. Desmond Ridder just under 5,000 yards. It's a pretty good season still. Interception is a little high, but we'll take it. Rushing was pretty damn good. Drake London is a superstar. Pitts was pretty solid. Anderson could be a superstar. So whether we have to overpay Pitts or not, Anderson has proven himself as a true number 1 tight end. So why not? Why not do it? O-line's been pretty good so far. Please. Arnaldo. Bruh. 6. Sweat, worth the money, because 3-4, like 10.5 sacks and a 3-4 is like 20 sacks and a 4-3. It's insane. Poole with 8.5, 7.5 for Harrison. 6 for Ebikidi, who I thought we would have had to give a contract to, unless I just missed him. Blair might be an X factor, because 5 interceptions is up there, but I don't know. And then MVP. I don't know how many, if any, we would have won for awards. Maybe wide receiver? Not even. So nothing. Nice. But here we are, going against the Bears, 85 overall. How the hell did we finish 9-8 after going 8-2? Oh my, I suppose if we're not destined to win the Super Bowl, you wouldn't hate a 9-8 because it's probably like the last seed. But I will say, Chicago is kind of getting swamped on. I mean, the Bears, talent-wise, probably got the worst playoff poll you could ever get, as we just won 48-6. Now, they had no chance to win anyways, but yes, they did kick a field goal down 48-3. You are not wrong. You've seen the same thing I've seen. And wow, what a differential game. 65 yards. That's like probably a few more yards than Justin Fields normally throws for. Bijan Robinson killed it. Zeke is still for the Bears, which is interesting. Receiving, Anderson killed it. Pitts is good. We do not mind the things that we are seeing here. Sweat killed it. Troy Anderson with a pick. I mean, it was a terrible finish to the regular season, but you know, the start of the season and this playoff game alone does give me hope that maybe it's our year. I don't know. We'll see. Desmond Ridder is now an 83 overall. What are his ratings? I suppose he's pretty good across the board, so I'm going to go Scrambler because, once again, I've been told that Scrambler is the best for upgrades. Let's see what we get. I mean, that's pretty good. That's definitely pretty good. And I think I did one earlier in this rebuild with him, and it was +1 to throw power, so it is what it is. We'll upgrade these behind the scenes. Deep route for a tight end. Now that's an upgrade. Holy. All right, who are we playing against this time? It is the Rams, who have, even when we rebuilt them earlier in the Madden cycle when they were really bad, or they were getting close to being really bad, I think at that point their season wasn't completely over, we won, I think we went to 2 or 3 straight Super Bowls, so they have the juice for some reason. And isn't this the one Stafford won MVP, or maybe it was another rebuild? Either way, Stafford won an MVP in Madden at this point with their roster. Oh my God, we're beating Bears. We're being Bears. Okay, field goals they're something. But I don't know if they're going to get us the win, although we're only down by 8. Come on, offense. Oh, that is a hell of a drive. Well, another wasted season with an uber-talented team. That's really disappointing. How? 3 interceptions for Ritter. 2 of them were his fault. Man, brutal to lose to the Rams of all teams. The Rams, bro. Foster was actually a guy I wanted, and then we obviously talked about Simmons, so what a disaster. What a disaster. But it is what it is. We still have 2 seasons left, and we're going to make it count. Hopefully. Wow, what a game. Glad to see our division rivals lose, but the Bengals win by 1. So, of course, as expected, Drake London's a superstar. Surprising Anderson didn't go up in dev, but after that playoff game, I'm kind of glad he didn't. And then defensively, dev up for Sweat. That's a big dev up. No dev up for Blair, which I kind of thought he was going to get one because 5 interceptions is a lot. Interior, no dev ups. It is what it is, kind of expected. So, we move. I re-offered the contract he declined, and I figured because it's the end of the season, he got a little bit older, maybe things would change, and they did. So 3-year, a little costly, 16.5, but he's a really good backup, had a pretty good season, so I'm down, and Algier is not really built to succeed in Madden. But 92.9, I'm still not obviously sold on Ebikidi, so I will trade him off if I find a better option. Phillips has never been good for me in Sim. Sweat is asking for a lot of money. Obviously, Jalen Carter shouldn't be here. Greg Newsom, we don't really need. I need an edge rusher, but I don't know if I'm going to find one here, as the best option seems to be Jalen Phillips. Ooh, Aziz. I wonder how he's played. Okay, so there are some options. We'll weigh them and see what we do. Wait, is my vision fading? Was Dexton Lawrence always there? Is my vision fading? Was he actually always an option? I mean, we don't probably need him, but holy crap, when was he there? All right, we actually got Phillips on a 3-year 48, which, considering the motivations were low and he wanted a 5-year, that's actually a pretty big win. Normally, I wouldn't go for Jalen Phillips because he doesn't do well in Sim, but his latest season, he actually played well. It just seems like Miami was like, look at the rest of the seasons. We are not taking a risk here. Screw that. We'll go for someone new. Especially with the ask he had, it wouldn't even, completely surprise me. Ebikidi, I wonder if he's worth anything, because he's okay. He just hasn't played well for us. Drake London with a 5-year option, obviously we'll give it to him, and then I think that's it, right? I'm trying to think of that draft class. If they had 2, they didn't. I honestly think Arnold Ebikidi is at least a mid-3rd. He's 26, 82 overall. Totally fair, I think. So if we can find somebody willing to pay that, we probably will, as even though he's a decent backup, I would like to get something off of him because he is pretty good, and we'd also be wasting him another season. I'd like to get a decently high 3rd. I want to find a team that fits the scheme and needs the position. And, okay, the Browns are maybe that team. Damn it. Although I say fits the scheme, that's not the case here. Oh, yeah, Buccaneers, no thank you. I don't even think this is the best draft in the world, but Ebikidi in a 3rd next year for 59 from the Giants. The Giants have no left outside linebacker, and every other team really didn't fit. So, I mean, it's kind of worth it, right? You consider that 3rd next to be like a mid-4th, kind of. So, I think in the end, it was worth it. So, outside of the edge, which we don't need anymore, the other high pick that I would look at would be this guy, Windsor. Very solid looking. I think he's amazing. He's probably going to be normal dev, but I don't think I'm going to grab him just because wide receiver is far from a need right now. But if he's there at 26, I definitely will take him. But, well, I don't even know. Even if he was at 26, I don't know if I'd take him. But I don't think that's going to matter, as I'd imagine his talent level would be gone by now. But let's see. I might have to trade down. And Windsor's there. Oh, man, that is a challenge. I think really at this point, our biggest need would be a linebacker for the interior, an off-ball, or a couple of linemen for the future. So with that being said, I probably will be trading down. I'm really curious. I think Windsor is going to be like 97 speed probably, which is ridiculous. But that wide receiver we got last season, I think he's perfectly fine for the number 3 spot. And obviously the 2 top wide receivers, assuming we can afford them, are going to be here for the long term anyways. So Windsor, even though he's great, is not going to be the pick. We're going to be doing a 41-73 for our pick with 109 next year, which I think is okay value. They're probably gaining a little bit on us, but it is what it is. Packers my favorite team, so I'm just helping them out. Oh, wow. Okay. That would be the talk of the draft, obviously. But, yeah, that's a really good pick. That is an amazing trade-up. I don't know when he was going to go, but that is solid. Because, obviously, if I was stuck at that pick, I probably would have taken him, to be honest. And even though we don't need him this moment, I think Tavares Durham is going to be my choice, as he looks really solid. A power move, which is normally its finesse. So Tavares Durham is going to be the choice. And hidden development trade, which is nice. Because normally these kind of guys, even though we've had pretty good luck lately with hiddens, they normally are normal development trade, which I'm fine with because, you know, DT devs are not that hard to get. Tight end devs, other hand, very hard to get, actually. So, don't know the hell I was saying there. Obviously, the tight end showed up. Boston was my guard. I just didn't think he was going to be the first to go. But as you can see, we do have other options. Smith, I cannot let go, obviously. And then Lange, I think, would be the second best. But we obviously have options. And I wouldn't hate getting Zay Long. As you can see, he's 6'2", 221. I kind of see him as a linebacker. Not the most athletic guy in the world, but athletic. You know, he would be really athletic for linebacker. And even though we do have a hidden development, well, I think he's star probably, middle linebacker at number 3, I kind of want someone even better than that. I don't like that he's 22, not that that really matters, but it gives me a little less time to decide if I want to start him. I kind of feel like you have to start him now. But I think I'm going to trade up with Seattle and take him, I think. Yes. It's our biggest need at this point, basically. We don't really have many needs in general. We trade 106 with 58 to move up 11 spots. Don't know if it's an overtrade at this point. I can't be bothered to, like, calculate. Oh, Jesus. Calculate every single value of every single pick. I have a decent gauging on what's fair and what's not, and I think that was fair. It's a decent 4th-round pick, after all. And with this pick, Zay Long is going to be the choice. 6'2", middle linebacker, hidden development trade. Jumping is good for a linebacker, but not overpowered. Change direction definitely would be a little overpowered, but still not the best, because Isaiah Simmons, even though I think he's listed at safety again, I don't even know, it would be better. Also, what the hell did I trade them? Didn't I trade them my 2nd-round pick? What do we have? How do we have 26 still? Okay, so we must have traded them the Giants, but I don't know. Who cares? We got our player. We didn't lose those linemen, I would imagine, because they're 3-4s. All is good. All is well. And even though we don't need tight end at all, it's so intriguing seeing 6'6", 4'48". Like, basically, even though his Excel looks to be bad, basically getting yourself another almost Pitts. Can't do it, though. We don't need them, and we don't really have that many draft picks, to be honest. We get 67 and 99 for that trade down. I mean, it is like 8 spots, but it's a little costly. I wanted less. I just wanted to get to this round, and I just didn't want to manually do it, so it is what it is. We've given up too little. We've gained too much. We've given up too much. It is what it is. It all kind of evens out. At least that's what I'm going to say. All right, so Shamir Smith looks great, super strong. Normal. Okay, I kind of want to grab 2 more linemen, especially since we sold. Hopefully there's someone there, because I can't be bothered to trade up again. So we're just going to take whoever's remaining, who is apparently all of them. I think Lange is better than Morant, to be honest. He's also bigger. So we're going to go with Lange, thankfully hidden. And I think we're going to go for one more. We're going to trade up to the Steelers pick here and grab Morant. So I guess it really didn't matter who I chose. And we're going to give him Carson in 122. Their center position is one of the biggest needs they have. Carson's young. He's 23-year-old. It's normal in fairness, but 75 overall. I think he's worth it. And then with that pick, I believe, unless I'm forgetting someone here, I don't think I am, Morant is the best. There's a lot of question marks here, but I like the A to B. It's fair enough. 21 years old, a hidden development trade. It's a win. Loading up on the O-line, who may never see the time of day. Oh, it's me. But, yeah, I mean, worth it. And then Freddie Clinton was a pass rusher. Don't actually need that position anymore. Both of these guys look kind of bad, but I suppose Dobson looks better. Do I take another lineman? 30 reps versus, even though I don't really care about strength anymore, and might as well if they're both the same kind of players, basically the same. I think I would still bet on Dobson being better. So Chase Dobson is another hidden. So that's that for the draft. I'm cool. Let's trade down for next year, get some value. And I was in the 6th round just grabbing players that kind of looked, or looking at players and then grabbing players that looked athletic. This guy had a great excel, great speed, 85 speed, 88 excel, which also reminds me, I want to take a look at the tight end just to see how accurate that whole left side is. Remember, it said poor excel with, I think, good or great speed. So in theory, his speed should be a lot higher than his excel, which if that's the case, then, I mean, we're definitely on the right track there. Now, I expect that random linebacker that I didn't even look at all into scouting before that moment is going to be a low overall, but you never know. Yeah, 62 overall. So, in theory, him being hidden is actually worse than just being normal because, you know, unless he's Superstar Plus, you're not getting that boost from the breakout, which means he's just stuck as a 62 overall, but in the terms of a rebuild, the fact that he's never going to start probably, it's actually not bad because he will develop faster being star development trade. But Durham, I don't think he's going to start yet, but next season, assuming Grady Jarrett needs a contract as well with his regression, I think he'll be the starter there. Maybe not the best scheme fit. Maybe we'll try to put the biggest guy we have there, which honestly, we probably have the smallest interior of a 3-4 like in history of the game. So maybe not the best interior in the world, but it should work out for a rebuild. Zay Long is our, I don't know if new middle linebacker he might play. We'll see. 45. Ooh, kind of pulling at some, I wouldn't say heartstrings. You know, he's good, but he wasn't like, you know, nothing bad happened to him, or it wasn't like the saddest thing ever that he was gone. But finesse style player and Shamir Smith, not a very good player, so I'm not really too worried about where he plays. And then Lange, I mean, these guys kind of feel like they should start. I ain't gonna lie. Like, Hennessy's like, I don't know, dude. Hennessy's a little iffy to me, so I guess keep him at guard and then put the other guy at center. Why not? I can't remember. Was this the tight end? The hell was his name? I think this might have been him, but definitely weaker excel, but that is not poor excel. So maybe that left side is a little bit of a lie. I don't even freaking know, dude. Unless that was the wrong guy, but I'm pretty sure it was him. You know, everything kind of points towards it. The height, the kind of speed feel. He probably should have been a little bit faster than that in fairness, but it is what it is. Ooh, the Commander's giving us Jamin Davis for Clark Phillips. We don't really need corner. They might. I mean, I noticed Forbes wasn't there, so we'll see. But Jamin Davis is a nice little upgrade. We probably do have to pay him or very close to paying him. I will be playing this man at middle linebacker number 2. We are kind of set there now. And might not actually need to pay him. Might have already got one. Or he's got like a really small deal. We'll see. What's that contract? Yeah, I mean, we kind of caught him on a fresh contract. We will take that. It was a low contract anyways, it seems. But that's a nice little win. I'm surprised they took it, but we'll take it and probably release both of them. All right, here we are for Season 4. This is the team. Maybe the center is going to be replaced. Maybe the left tackle is going to be replaced. We have linemen as is that can make those replacements. But outside of that, this is what the offense is likely going to be looking like for the rest of this rebuild. And then looking at the defensive side of things, I think we're set there too. I mean, maybe DT changes a little bit because obviously Grady Jarrett's going to be gone and maybe Durham's not the guy. I don't know. But this is basically what the roster is going to look like for the rest of this thing. I don't think there's going to be any changes. Just like last season, starting off with an amazing one, and Kyle Pitts is actually not asking for that much. This is clearly a $7 million deal, or a 7-year deal. 7-year... I can't go any higher! What is he talking about? Oh, man. $30 million per year for Ritter, even though it's probably going to get up to 35. I think is actually probably the most fair contract I've seen asked. Zach Harrison's a little high, but I will give it to him. The guard, very cheap, but we don't know how high that's going to get. These two, those red interests, man. I don't know what is causing them to be this low. Super Bowl chase, obvious. No players have a mentor. So I want to sign a mentor, but I don't want to change my roster. I really wonder how much of a change that would be. Like, would it just be full green across the board? And then this one's historic championships. Well, stop being a loser chasing rings. All right, so we're going to try. We're going to grab Shelby Harris, who's actually not a bad player to have as a rotational depth anyways, and a veteran leader. And I want to see the difference. I want to see how much this changes, if at all. Because it showed it was far back left red. And, oh, wow, it does change a lot. Okay, Zach Harrison's not been that great, but he is solid. So 6-year, 67. Why not? Why not? If he develops into a god, that is a steal of a contract. What is Ritter's issue? Values financials, fair enough. Vertical zone, and then no players have a mentor. Another mentor? I'm not even going to do it. To be fair, I normally do have a mentor at these positions, but I just didn't this season. 5-year, 145, not bad at all. Worth it unless he's having the worst season he's ever had. And then I suppose Bergeron, even though I may have called him Bergeron earlier, deal? I mean, these contracts are fair. They're fair. I mean, who are we going to lose? The center in Algier, who's not even a starter anymore, and then Grady Jarrett, and we'll still have like 30 mil left, which is great. I was like going through breakouts, and I accidentally clicked Player of the Week, and wow, look at Bijan Robinson. Of course, Jamie Davis also wins a Player of the Week, which is nice, but wow. I think we have the division, unless we lose. We do not. 14-3, and let me tell you, we lost to the Rams again, dude. Again. This Rams team is the kryptonite to us. Of course, it was a close-ish game, but wow. I mean, could it be our year? Maybe. If we play the Rams, are we screwed? Absolutely. Bijan in the Falcons scheme with the best running back season. Ritter killing it. And of course, Bijan is insane. Almost 7.0 yards per carry. Like, what is that compared to the rest of the league? That's got to be way above anyone else. Henry's under 5. 6.9. The second highest is 5.8. He's a 1.1 over the next highest player at running back. He is absurd. And this line is not that great. It's good, not that great. Receivers Pitts was amazing. Anderson was pretty damn good. Trey Brown and Drake London, though, really bad season, though. I don't know if it was just because of Bijan, but blocking was great, especially for Madden concerns. Sweat at 10.5. Phillips at 11.5. 10.5 for Harrison, who just got paid. And then we don't care about the other guys because they didn't do well. Terrell's an X factor, I'd imagine. And Jamie Davis, pretty good. Maybe in a superstar. Young Hui Koo. This is literally like, outside of those receiving numbers, like the perfect season. There's no way this isn't our year. It probably isn't, but I'm going to say there's no way because it'll make me feel better. Any award wins? DB? Yeah, at least DB and kicker. Fair enough. But let's go on to the divisional round, which, you know, is our first game. We'll have to play anyone but the Rams. If it's the Rams, we might as well just force lose because it's the same thing. Saints. Did we beat them twice? I don't know. But 91 overall to their 87. They can compete here. Don't know who their quarterback is, but they're not out of this. Home field locked up for the playoffs. See how we play. 3-0, 3-3. Oh my, come on, offense. 10-3. Defense is doing pretty well so far. Give a field goal. We can live with that. Another field goal, but our side up by 7, up by 14, up by 7 again. Offense is at least competing now, and defense is selling, but allowing those field goals only has been huge. Almost choking, though, but did enough. Won the game, and Jordan Love was the quarterback. He was actually pretty good. Did he win MVP? He was number 1 on the yards list for QBs, I'm pretty sure, but Jordan Love does kind of feel like a Saint down the line. I don't know why, but hoping not, because that means Green Bay has made the ultimate sell. Because it's not just about now. At this point, the Jordan Love-Rodgers situation, I don't think is that bad. But if Jordan Love isn't the guy, then the problem comes. You look back. You look back at, they took Jordan Love, caused this little rift, not even just the actual player himself, but caused the rift, but also didn't grab wide receiver when there was a couple of guys that could have made major differences in the down-the-line stretch for Green Bay. Who knows? If Green Bay had a true number 2 wide receiver, does Devontae leave? I don't know. I definitely feel like, wow, what a freaking upgrade. I definitely feel like Devontae was just going to be gone no matter what, even if Rodgers was 5 years younger at that point. But, maybe it changes things. Because if I'm Devontae, why would you stay in Green Bay when, your quarterback's going to leave soon and you have no help? You have literally no help. You have to play against triple teams. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to do that? But if they had a true number 2, nice little, I'm sure he needs a speed upgrade. Maybe he sticks around. I don't know. Like that, we'll never know. But when you come, I don't remember if they still do those or not, but NFL.com used to do the NFL what ifs, which I actually thought were pretty cool. That would be an ultimate one. You go back, you don't trade up for Jordan Love. Let's say you even go crazier. You trade up slightly higher, who I really wanted at the time in Justin Jefferson. Green Bay probably becomes a dynasty with those two. Devontae and Justin Jefferson, I don't know how you stop that. I don't know how you stop that. But who knows? I mean, we'll never know, but just hoping, Jordan Love is the guy. I'm not expecting to be the amazing, but if he was even like a Kirk Cousins, I'd take it, dude. I would take it, absolutely. Just hopefully a little bit better in all facets of the game, not just certain time periods in the day, all time zone games. That's all I ask for. But 13-10, Dallas giving us a run here. 13-17, huge drive for them. We don't drive down. Come on, defense is giving you a chance. Offense only gets the field goal. You need the stop here. If you don't get this stop on 3rd and 4, you've lost the game. You're still in a really bad spot, but you've definitely lost the game if you don't get this. I think it's a run commit time. They're not going to go for this. They're not going to throw it. Nice little cutback attempt. We're all over that, but without being able to stop the clock, this is like a 20-second chance. Wait, did they miss the... Wait, huh? EA? They didn't go for the field goal. What? Or did they miss? It went to overtime. Maybe they missed it? What even happened? They must have missed it. There's no way. How? Bro, it's one thing, right? It's one thing to, have it set up and you don't take the field goal or, instead of, kicking the field goal before the time runs out. But for them to physically not calculate the time correctly is unforgivable. How the hell did 1 minute and 12 seconds go off and they went to overtime? There's only 40 seconds, EA. Even if you wanted to call a no timeout penalty, which they had timeouts, that's another 10. Jeez, I don't care though. We won. Whatever, dude. You give me 20 seconds to kick a field goal. Obviously, I'm gonna do it, right? It's pretty much guaranteed. But I didn't cheat. I just let the game play it out. So while maybe if it was in our favor, I would have reset the situation. You can't guarantee that. And I also didn't force them to not kick the field goal. Long story short, we are the champions of the NFC. That's all that matters to this guy. Zach Harrison is more of a power rusher, which makes sense because he's on the smaller side. Like I said, it's been a while since this rebuild started, but I really like him, and I'm wishing him the best. Let's go to the Super Bowl, unless he's playing against the Packers, and I just hope he takes it lightly and takes it easy on us. But I don't know if they even play. The Raiders, speaking of Devontae, we were just talking about, I would imagine he's still here. It's not the craziest coincidental, wow, what are the chances? But it kind of, very high overall team as well. DevOps, don't know who the hell I thought. Actually, Ritter probably should have went up. He had a really good touchdown to pick ratio. And then defensively, Phillips doesn't go up in dev, but Sweat is now an X Factor. Terrell is an X Factor, which makes sense. Phillips not going to X Factor is a bit of an L. And then Jamin Davis not going up to Superstar is a little bit of an L as well. But Sweat going to Superstar, at least we got some sort of win. And then obviously Terrell going to X Factor is cool. Not the biggest thing in the world. Obviously, these devs at this point we're trying to get them up so then the regression point for these guys isn't hit or it's just not as bad. But let's take a look at, not our team, but let's take a look at the Raiders because they must have got some new quarterback. There's no way you can be a 91 overall team without a good quarterback. And they have, I guess they are. Fair enough. Josh Jacobs is amazing. Devontae is still there. Myers turned out to be pretty decent. Hunter Renfrow is still there, shockingly. Good wide receiver 4. Michael Mayer is amazing. Colton Miller, 91. They got a pretty good offensive line. Pass rush with Tyree Wilson's ridiculous. Gregory's decent. Jalen Carter's apparently there. That's unfair. Max Crosby's still there. He's amazing. Linebackers could use some work. Right outside linebacker is actually the guy I was going to grab if we didn't get Phillips, ironically enough. Witherspoon's here. Yeah, they got a lot of players that they shouldn't have, but they also just have a lot of really good players that they drafted. I mean, some of these guys are pretty insane that aren't even real players. But the ultimate challenge, actually, let's see, before we do this, 91 all, let's see how they got here. Were they smoking teams or, because they obviously had a bye week as well. I don't know why I went there. But won by 7 over the Patriots. That's not that comforting. Well, it's actually comforting for us, but that's not amazing. Tennessee's not the hardest team to beat, but 42 points is still a lot. Let's see it. We are facing a challenge. And I clicked the wrong thing. All right, here we go. I completely forgot to change Bijan's number again, but he's killed it at number 2, and I'd argue the number 2 looks way cooler than number 7 as a running back anyways, so suck it, nerds. I have at least mentioned it. All right, the Raiders right to left looked like it, and they are. Our defense is doing what it can, but offense is being some bums right now. Thank you, 7-10. It is a really good defense, I will admit, but our defense is good too. Come on, let's win this game. 14-17. Come on, offense. The defense literally handed them free points, and we still couldn't put it in. I've got to come in. Like, this team is playing like some booty ass. I don't even know what that means. But it's true. Booty ass. Is that Pitts? Oh, my! Now, he got caught up while he was already kind of coming down, but that is a tough animation to finish. I never see that go through. Even if you're just about to land, you usually don't get that. Bijan to the outside, not really super open, does an okay job, gains 4, gets out of bounds. Yeah, Ritter is not playing well. This moment is kind of too big for him, but he is still young. He's still pretty low overall, so it kind of makes sense. If Pitts doesn't win this by a mile, I'm going to be so pissed. What? What a great catch. He is literally the biggest mismatch in Madden, and he can't burn him. I'm telling you, I'm sticking to all Madden sliders. No changes. No change. Also, that was only a 4-second play. I mean, I think you can run it here. I think this is like the most predictable run in the history of runs, but it's all right. Too much time left. Not only do I want the touchdown, obviously, but I also, in general, don't want to give them enough time to score. But as of right now, I will hike it early because if we don't get it, we need the clock. But when we do get it, it doesn't really matter as much, right? Like, now we kind of control the clock again. Doesn't matter. But if we don't get it, we need that clock. You know, I'm just the smartest man alive. What can I tell you? Let's hike this. They're making it tough on us. And there goes Brown. Nice play. Slide. Don't get hit. No fumble. Had a playoff game recently. We could probably let the AI do this from here, to be honest. Clock, not as much of our friend as it once was, so we got to be a little careful here. Kind of slanting into danger. Pitts. He's so big. He really doesn't look that fast, even though he should, but he is so massive. Touchdown. Could it be a Super Bowl win? Could it be? I don't know what the hell happened there. And I'm coming in for this last play, dude. The AI can score a 75-yarder in Sim. It's going to be really hard to do it in a Hail Mary. I mean, they're going to need some sort of deflection miracle, which I don't even think they're going to get the throw off. Oh, wow, this guy's got a cannon. Did you see that throw? But it doesn't matter. Both quarterbacks are trash. Ritter was just slightly less trash. And the Atlanta Falcons have won a Super Bowl, baby. Desmond Ritter and company are champions. Where do we actually play? Were we in Vegas? No, we were not in Vegas. Right? Is this the Saints one? I would assume this is the Saints stadium. I don't freaking know. Mercedes owns like every damn stadium. But of course, Ritter and Bijan and Pitts and Drake London and all of the guys that I know are all Super Bowl champions now. And we didn't really, screw anyone over, did we? We didn't lose anyone right as they were about to win their ring. Maybe, some players that didn't really deserve it, perhaps. But, Grady Jarrett's still here just barely, and we kept most of the line intact. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Another successful rebuild. We've been killing it with these real-life roster ones. We really have. We've been doing pretty well. Ritter actually turned it around pretty nicely after we finished a drive for them. Jacobs, who, ironically enough, I'm pretty sure Bijan was, kind of comped to, doing way better than him, in fairness, but also had that crazy long run of 74. You give us a 74-yard run, and Bijan looks way better than him, obviously. Drake London and company, they're a pretty tame game receiving, nothing special. Who gave up all those sacks? Jake Matthews, who gave up some pretty big sack numbers there. Jalen Phillips is the only one that showed up on that pass rush front. Bates with interception. Lorenzo Carter, ironically enough, with a pick. Younghoe Koo missing a field goal. I hate these guys. But yeah, that is the realistic style rebuild of the Atlanta Falcons. Pretty tame Super Bowl, to be honest. I mean, it was cool right at the end, but it was lackluster, if you will. Let's take a look at the overalls and see who had the best kind of career, or not career, but upgrading. Kyle Pitts from tight end to wide receiver. He is basically maxed as a wide receiver now. He's absurd. He's obviously massive, and it wasn't really cheese. If anything, we took the L on this one because we had to pay him more, And, I mean, he played a little bit better as a wide receiver, but didn't kill it. We could have had him at tight end, biggest mismatch ever, and, instead we put him at wide receiver. He did develop nicely now, but started off as an 83 overall from like a 92. So huge L at the beginning, ended up becoming a huge W, obviously. And then Bijan Robinson, I think, is probably the biggest name for this rebuild, so we'll take a look at him. Did get the trucking up, which I'm a little surprised happened. I mean, every time I had a chance to upgrade him, maybe 4 times in this rebuild, I did truck or power back, but they must have upgraded him a little bit on their own, or he got some from Elusive, because he is up there. I mean, his archetype is actually kind of balanced, or I didn't even notice it. He is 99 Elusive. Maybe he got 99 Elusive like a while back, and he's been getting power back upgrades. That actually makes a lot of sense. He actually did just get one there, and he obviously, because of his dev and age, goes up very quickly. Very fast as well. I mean, I started him off as a 90 speeder, I believe, so finishing at 92 is pretty impressive. Drake London, the 91 overall, I'd say his route running is pretty raw. Yeah, medium and deep is really bad, but everything else is great. Basically, Mike Evans. I mean, basically. Offensive line, I guess we'll take a look at Bergerson because he's a real-life player, and he's pretty good. I mean, he's obviously not the best, but he's decent. He's better than most of the rookies you're going to be able to get from CPU classes. And the other guys don't really matter too much, but Lindstrom, because he's so good of an overall, I want to see. A little bit lacking in the pass block department, outside of power, obviously, but very good in general. He's amazing. He's obviously amazing and worth every penny. Ritter will be looked at after Anderson. Anderson in that one playoff game was garbage, dude. I don't know how he's so bad, but as far as like how he's played in this rebuild, for the most part, he actually has been really good. Ritter is an 87 overall, who's supposed to be 27 probably, but amazing regardless, totally worth it, and became that, I guess, franchise quarterback. He's not a guy that's necessarily carrying the team, but he's good and he can carry if he needs to. Poole never really played. I mean, he played like a season or two, but wasn't a starter out the gate. Never really did much. That's definitely for a fact. Let's take a look at Zach Harrison. We already recently looked at him, but let's take a look at his... Actually, maybe we didn't. We might have just known his archetype, but didn't look at his ratings. 91 power move, 84 block shed. You like to see that block shed go up a little bit. Also a little surprised that not any speed went up. I'm pretty sure he had 77, unless it was 75. I think it was 77, though. A.J. Terrell, 96 overall. Man coverage is lacking a little bit, but I imagine with his zone, it's not maxed, actually. So he might never get that man coverage up unless you manually upgrade him, which slot is obviously... That's a dream come true. With the archetype he is, you literally just do slot the rest of the way, and he'd become a 99 everything. Okuda, 91 man, 83 zone. You live with that. That is nice. Totally worth it. Absolutely did well for us. Manning was technically only a starter this season. Never really got much of a chance, but he has all the potential in the world. So fast, tall, and I mean, really a super sleeper pick. Blair, the cornerback that was transferred to safety, 86 zone, super fast. I mean, this would be a really hard team to pass on. Like, this team is very, very athletic and pretty big overall. What else do we have? Grady Jarrett doesn't matter because he's regressing. Jesse Bates, I guess, is a 98 overall. He went up, so might as well. 95 zone. Never got any more speed after that one speed upgrade he had. 99 awareness, 94 play rec. Pretty good. Pretty good, obviously. And then let's take a look at these linebackers. Phillips and Sweat didn't really matter because we didn't really develop them. But I guess we'll take a look at McCoy. Everyone else probably doesn't matter. But 87 speed, 89 excel. Good coverage, but that block shed is terrible. We would be so bad at stopping the run, especially once we lose Grady Jarrett because we lose the size that he has, which even he's like, I wouldn't say undersized, but he's pretty undersized, right? 6 foot tall, 305. This would probably be the worst run-stopping defense in the entire league by a mile. So if that offense didn't get off to a big lead early, we would lose a lot of games. But regardless, it didn't hurt, and we ended up winning the Super Bowl, so what am I to say about that? If you guys enjoyed this one, maybe leave a like, maybe subscribe if you're new. If you're not new, I really appreciate your continued support, and hopefully you've been enjoying the rebuilds lately. I've been doing a lot of real-life draft class rebuilds, obviously. Probably going to slow them down soon enough. Don't know if that'll happen right away. Maybe we don't do one on Friday. I don't know. But like I said, I wanted to start the relocation franchise on Saturday, so I actually don't know. I mean, I've been pretty, clear-cut on what I've wanted to upload this week, but now after this upload, I don't know. I kind of want to slow down on the rebuilds a little bit, But we'll see. Maybe one more and then we slow down. I don't know. Regardless, if you guys have a team you want to see next, let me know in the comment section below. And that's about it. Second channel PKR Plays for non-Madden playthrough games like Star Wars Jedi Survivor is what I'm playing now. And there should have been one yesterday. Maybe go check that out over on PKR Plays, second channel. Usually I mention it in the community tab, or just subscribe would be amazing. And it would also let you know when the upload is there. But that's about it. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys come back for next video. But until next video, see ya!